Okay guys, we're on part 2 of the Edmonton real estate market report for March 2022. This is using the latest statistics from the Realtors Association of Edmonton, which basically takes what happened in the whole month of February. This is part 2 of 3. The first one, we worked on the whole market as a whole, so basically the stats for all of the residential market. In this video, we're going to be focused on the single family section of the market, which includes single family homes, half duplexes, residential attached, anything that's titled with a single family ownership structure. So make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you're enjoying these videos. I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers. Right now I'm sitting at about 322. So I need your help to get to those 500 subscribers. So make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. So let's jump right in. Like I said, we're focused on the single family home market, and we'll look at basically the market status as a whole. You know, how is it performing? We saw a crazy increase this last month. We're now sitting at a 74.46 listing absorption rate, which is basically taking the number of active listings at the end of the month and then looking at how many listings sold that month, and then figuring out what that ratio is. So we had 1,343 active listings in the single family market, and we had 1,000 sales in February. So that's how we get that 74.46%, which puts us into a very strong seller's market. And if you look at how much that's shifted since January, in January, we were sitting at a 37.77% listing absorption rate, which would have put us pretty much square in the middle of a balanced market. And we jumped all the way up to 74%, which puts us way into a seller's market. So it got really hot really quickly. And if you look back over the last year, we had nothing even close to that. Last February 2021, it was 29.99%, which would have still been, you know, on the cusp of a buyer's moving into a seller's market. I meant moving into a balanced market. And then in March, we had 42%, which put us right square in the middle of the balanced market. And that kind of carried on for April, May, and then it started to drop in June. But what we're seeing here is much stronger than last year. Single family market is definitely a seller's market. So if you're looking to sell your home, it's a great time to get it on the market. Good chance it'll move quickly. If you're needing to buy a home as well, or if you're buying a home, it's pretty competitive out there. So you might be bidding on the property with multiple other parties. You're gonna wanna get out to look at that property as soon as possible. I've said this in some of my other videos, but one of the best things you can do is get instant market updates in a hot market like this. So rather than getting an email once a day or once a week with new listings, I can get you set up on instant updates so that you'll get emailed as soon as there's a new listing that fits your criteria. You'll get one email for every new listing. You can also set it up to send you information when stuff goes pending and when it sells and what it's sold for, so that you can keep a really good close eye on the market. But if you want to get that set up for you, reach out to me at 780-819-5508. You can either call me or text me, or you can email me at trevor@trevortardif.com, or you can always go to booktrevornow.com, select the time on my calendar, and then I will give you a call and we can get that set up for you. So we've looked at the absorption rate. Let's see some of the other market stats for single family. The average price in February was $501,425, which is up 11.17% from January. And it's also up 12.21% from February 2021. So that's another big increase in the average price. Of course, I've mentioned this before, the average price gets a little bit skewed if you got a bunch of $1 million homes selling and not a whole lot of cheaper homes, or vice versa. So I prefer to look at the median price. I go into the median price for single family homes, townhouses, and even apartments in one of my other videos that you can check out. But the average price is just sort of looking at, you know, the whole market. So 501,000, that's up 11.17% from January, which is a big increase. You can see that we did have some increases last year. In February, it was up 2.35%, and then March was stronger at 5.29%. Then it stayed pretty much the same for April, technically down. Then it went up another 1.34% in May, and then we got almost a 3% gain in June before the average price started to drop as we got into the summer and then into the fall months. We actually did have a couple gains in November and December, and then it was down in January, which is normal. It does sort of ebb and flow, but again, it depends on what's selling. But seeing an 11.17% increase, although that could be affected just by more expensive homes selling, I can tell you that it's not just being affected by that. Yeah, there's been some expensive homes selling, but the average price actually is going up for the same type of home. So hot market out there, make sure you're being competitive. And if you have a house to sell, when the market's hot like this, if you need to sell your house before you can financially manage buying another house, yeah, there's a good chance you will have to sell your house first before you start writing offers, because it's pretty hard if you're competing with other buyers. If you put conditions on there that it's subject to the sale of your home, it just makes your offer look weak compared to the other buyers. The sellers don't really want to deal with that, and why would they if they have multiple other offers that are just subject to things like financing and property inspection, and in some cases they're getting unconditional offers. So make sure you're prepared for that. If you have to sell your house before you buy another one, you should probably assume that you're going to need to actually get a firm sale on your house before you can buy the next one, depending on what you're buying, because you're just not going to be able to compete. If you're maybe switching into an apartment condo, you could probably still get away with it. Like if you're downsizing and you're selling a single family detached home, that's gonna be really hot. So you probably won't have any hard time selling it at all. It should be pretty easy as long as it's priced right and you've got it looking good. And it's not nearly as competitive in the apartment condo market, which we'll cover more in the next video. If you're downsizing like that, you could probably still get away with a sale of buyer's home condition, but more than likely not if you're going from one single family home to another single family home. So something to keep in mind. Now let's look at the average price trend. The chart's a little bit screwed up, but it's just looking at for the year. You can see last year in 2021, we were up 7.09% for the year on the average price. That's just taking, what was the average price all year? Because there's a bit of a seasonal shift in there. So that's taken the whole year. And 2022, we've just got January and February so far, but we're already up 1.93% from last year. Now, if we look into the active and sold listings, there at the end of February, there was 1,343 active single family properties for sale. And as we mentioned before, 1,000 sold in February 2022. So we're actually looking at reduced inventory, which is the number of homes actively for sale, than what we had in January. We're down 11.93%, and we're down significantly from last year. In February of 2021, we're down 38.51% in inventory. And our sales is up 73.61% from January, massive increase. And year to year, we're up 52.67% from February 2021. So like a lot more sales than last year. And this chart just kind of shows you the balance of active listings versus sold listings. And you can see that here's where we got the 1,000 sales and 1,343 active listings. Another way of kind of showing how much absorption is happening in the market. And it's a completely different picture from last February. Last February, we had 2,184 active listings, and we sold 655. We've sold significantly more houses, and we have significantly less for sale. So like that gap between the rate of stuff selling and what's actually active on the market is extremely small compared to what it was last year. If this continues, March is gonna be just as crazy, probably more crazy. We'll see. There's gonna be a lot more people listing their houses, and there's also gonna be a lot more people looking to buy. So it's gonna be a very robust spring. It's gonna be pretty crazy out there. So look forward to needing to act quick and get your offers in quickly because things are moving out there. But just to compare it to the rest of the year, from last year, you can see the sales did pick up to 1,005 in March last year. So we're pretty much right at that already. So if the trend continues, we'll probably surpass March for sure. And then April, it went to 1,155 and sort of peaked at 1,209 in May. So I wouldn't be surprised if we beat those numbers this year, as long as we're not too constrained by the supply. As you can see, we're very constrained on supply right now. Hopefully there's going to be a bunch more stuff coming on the market. We are seeing more listings as we get into March here, but we need more listings in order to actually support that number of sales. Otherwise, there just won't be enough houses for people to buy. Now, if we look at the average days on market for February, we were at 41 days on market for single family. That's down compared to January. So it's 21.15% down, or faster compared to January. And year over year, it's also faster, 14.58% faster compared to February 2021. So you can look at the average days on market sitting at 41. In January, we're at 52. And so this is already stronger than last February, not as strong as March last year in terms of days on market. And you can see that the numbers got down to 27 in May, was the lowest that we had last year. So I wouldn't be surprised if this number drops as well. And this is just looking at the market distribution. Basically the price point that most homes are selling in single family, you can see hardly anything under 200,000, 1.52% of the market. Between 2 and 300,000, we're sitting at 8.57% of the market. And then we're just over 25% of the market is between 3 and 400,000. So that's a really popular segment. Right now, it's the second biggest segment, because the next biggest segment is that $400,000 to $500,000 price point at 26.54% of the market. And now between 5 and 600,000, still a significant piece of the market, just under 20% at 19.11%, and then it drops to less than 10% once you get over 600,000, between 6 and 700,000, and less than 5% between 7 and 800,000. After that, you're down to 2% between 8 and 900,000, and then 1% for 900,000 to a million. Another pretty much 1% between 1 million and 1.5 million. And then, you know, 1/3% between 1.5 million and 1.2 million. So I am seeing a shift in homes getting more expensive, just looking at this market distribution. I'll have to go back and compare it to the other one, but we've definitely seen a shift to the right. So as prices rise, you'll see that shift more from left to right, and the same home will be in a higher price bracket, essentially. So that pretty much wraps it up for the single family home part of the market report. If you want to see the whole residential report, make sure to watch the first part of this series, and the condos is going to be the next part of this series. I hope this was helpful. If you'd like help buying or selling a home, or knowing exactly what's going on in the market that you're looking at, make sure to book a call or contact me at 780-819-5508. You can email me at trevor@trevortardif.com, or go to booktrevornow.com, select a time on my calendar, and I will call you. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you on the next video.